I remember it just like it was yesterday. I was looking in the mirror and I couldn't recognize who I was anymore. I had lost 6 dress sizes, and it wasn't because I was on a weight loss plan, diet, or pill, but because I was in such a dark and dim place. I had fallen in love with a guy that I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. I just knew this was it. We had done so much together, built business, traveled so many places. I knew that I knew he was the one until I got that call. I had a friend that called me that told me, girl, he's seeing someone else. Ouch. My heart shattered in a million pieces. I didn't know what to do. So I put one foot in front of the other. Now, I did get into other relationships, but I just always felt like I was settling, like there's gotta be more than this. And I started to realize, like most people, I was doing love all wrong. So I finally made the decision to become a student of love. I studied it. I slept, I ate, I breathed, I dreamt about it. Oh my goodness. I read almost 100 books on love. Do you even know that there were so many, right? Oh my goodness. And I remember studying under the best when it comes to dating and relationships. And I started to look around, and I knew couples, but not all of them were happy. Any of y'all know some unhappy couples? Yeah. So I started to seek out married couples that had been married for over 25 years and actually still liked each other. They actually still had some fun, right? Leaving the toilet seat up didn't bother them anymore, right? And I learned a few lessons. So I want to share with you 3 of the lessons that I learned, because I understand that so many people do love the wrong way, but there's a secret, there's a sauce to make this thing called love work. So number 1, I had to take ownership. I had to take ownership of my mess. I started to understand that if I kept blaming him, right, for what he did, for what happened, for all those things, if I kept blaming someone else, that I was giving up my power. I was relinquishing my power to someone else. I had to take ownership. So for so many of you, it's the same situation. What are you blaming someone else for? And number 2, I had to gain clarity. I had to gain clarity on what it is that I wanted in my life, because I started to realize that you will miss your target 100% of the time if you don't know what it is. So I know many of you have heard of vision boards before, right? Many times people do business vision boards and things of that sort, but I created one for love. I actually sat there, check this out, right? So on my living room floor, flipping through magazines, and I started to cut out words, emotions, things that I wanted to feel in my ideal relationship, how I wanted the person to look, things I wanted us to do. And I remember this day, I was in my kitchen, I'm still working on that cooking thing, right? So I was in my kitchen, and I remember looking at my boyfriend at the time, and I looked back at my vision board, because it was in the kitchen. I looked at him, and I looked back at my vision board, and tears started to well up in my eyes, because as I reminisced on all the things we had done, I said, oh my goodness, you're the guy. Now, I didn't actually tell him that, but you know what I'm saying. This is what was going on in my mind. I got so excited because exactly what I had envisioned, exactly what I had cut out, exactly everything that I wanted was standing right in front of me. So much so, that guy I was dating, he proposed. Not only proposed, but he proposed via a flash mob in New York City, to where we have over 11,000 views on YouTube. Oh my goodness, past my wildest dreams, to where now we are just absolutely elated to be living in life, traveling the world, having an amazing time. And I give thanks because I gained clarity. Oh my goodness. And the third being, it takes a community. It takes a community. Oftentimes you hear relationships are between two people, you go out on a date, hey boo, you looking cute, thank you, right? And that's what a relationship is, two people getting to know each other. But you're doing it all wrong. You have to think about the community. I remember my grandmother, who is from the rural parts of Jamaica. It's really hard to pull resources together just to bring together the bare necessities, the small things like food. She had 5 children that she had to feed on a daily basis. And even though it was hard and times were scarce, if another child showed up to her door hungry, guess what? She would ration that food to make sure that that child ate. And oftentimes, if one of her children went to a next door neighbor, the same would happen. Her child would be fed. It takes a village. It takes a community. I remember about 3 years ago, I had the opportunity to travel over 30 hours to Kenya. And from there, we went in a truck across a safari. I just want you to imagine just desert everywhere and seeing animals like lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, well, maybe no bears, but you know what I'm saying. All the animals that you could see from National Geographic were in front of me, and everyone was saying, don't get out of the van. But after 2 hours, there was a clearing, and there was this beautiful village, huts, and these women came to greet us with open arms. And you would think that these women had nothing. They were living in huts. They only had the clothes on their back, but they had everything. They shared that, we don't really have much, but if there's a mother in our village that doesn't have or can't send her child to school, we scrape together to send that child to school. And when I say school, I mean a hut where there's a teacher, but it was something more than knowing that they could come together to create this beautiful community. They supported each other. They often say it takes a village to raise a child. I believe that it takes a village to have a beautiful relationship, a community of love. And that's exactly what I decided to create. I started to look around me. Yes, there were relationships around me, but I pinpointed specific marriages that I loved. People that I saw that actually liked each other, that had fun, that were my own age. At the time, I was single. And my boyfriend at the time and I joined up with a couple other married couples, and we'd get together every now and then. It was so important to build these relationships to where I can tell you now we are a beautiful community that gets together almost every week, to be in fact, and we have delved through to the core, like peeling back layers on an onion. We're at the core. So now if I have a problem, I call up that girlfriend, and she doesn't say, oh girl, leave him. No, it's how do you work through this? How do I uplift you to do more? And this is what I'm saying to you. In terms of having a community of love, it helps you in terms of having a sustainable, fulfilling relationships. You can't do this thing by yourself. You have to take ownership of your mess. Stop blaming other people for where you are in your life, for where you are in your relationships. Gain the clarity of what it is that you really want and shoot, go after it. Hello? And third, last but not least, you can't do it by yourself. So I encourage you today to join the global Inspire Many movement, to create a community of love wherever you are today.